All right, let's get into it, everyone. It's Donovan and Dino, presented by Master Pizza on a Wednesday night. Remember, Master Pizza, all you got to do to take advantage of the great food at Master Pizza, go to your smartphone right now and download that Master Pizza app. Start earning pizza points today. That's Master Pizza. Taste above all. Now, I have a question for you. Who said this, Jim Donovan? Quote, "The call by Jim Donovan is remarkable on its own." This call about the Nick Chubb touchdown from Sunday. Also, look how much of a fan of the Browns. True love and passion. I bet he's soaking wet after the game.
I hope the president of NBC Sports.
None other than, no, it is not Dick Ebersol, no, unfortunately.
Okay, all right.
None other than former Browns running back Ernest Spiner.
Oh, that was very nice.
Yes.
You know, because he's in the actual Ring of Honor.
Yes.
For the Ravens.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not, I hope he should be I think Tony Grossi said on Sunday, he should be the next Brown to get in.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, that was very nice of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I knew
nice.
you'd get a kick
That's
out
great.
of
I
that.
love Ernest Spiner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I tell you a quick story about Ernest
Absolutely.
Spiner? On the week before the fumble game in Denver, we were out with the team because they actually, they went out early that week.
Yeah.
I think they were in Albuquerque. Yeah, we were in Albuquerque.
To get ready for the elevation.
That's right. We were in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So anyway, we did deals here at Channel 3, one with an offensive player and one with a defensive player to come on the news every night. And the defensive player was Clay Matthews, and the offensive player was Ernest Spiner.
Oh, wow.
So they would come on every night. They would alternate. One would do the 6 and one would do the 11. So obviously he fumbles in the game. And he comes on after the fumble, but he did for everybody, and he stood in front of his locker and he answered the questions. Now the team comes home that night, but the next day it's Monday, and the news director here says to me, as all news directors do, pushing a little bit harder, "Hey, let's get him one more time." Right. And I went, "Well, I mean, come on, he stood in front of his locker." Yeah. And they said, "No, we want you to call him." So I called him up and said, "Hey, Ernest, could you do one more interview with us? We'll send a microwave truck out to your house." And he came out on his front lawn and did the interview with his brown starter jacket on. And I asked him the question, since the fumble happened, how many times have you thought of that? And he said, "I can't even sleep. I have thought of that about 1,000,000 times already." And the guy was so classy about it. Do you remember when Believe Land came out that night?
I do.
He got up at the Palace. They debuted it at the Palace, and we did like a little Q&A afterwards with a bunch of the guys, Craig Elo, and all different kinds of people that were there. And he said, I said to him, because in Believe Land, he said, "I apologize to everybody." And I remember saying to him, "You don't ever have to apologize to us."
I totally agree.
Now, if you want to say I had a great call on the run by Chubb, that's great. Bring it on. Bring it on.
But
no, you don't have to apologize. Anyway, what a great guy.
That was one of the nicest parts about the Cavs winning the championship is they kind of opened their arms a little bit to Biner and Elo, and the fact that he was there, he got to ride in the parade.
Right.
I thought that was classy, and I thought that was great. And my dealings with Ernest, I've interviewed him many times over the years as well. And I mean, he never turns down an interview request, and he never runs away from the question. And I mean, he even wrote a book called "Everybody Fumbles" that did really well. And
everybody fumbles.
Everybody fumbles, and he's right. And but I really thought that was such a cool thing. I mean, because he's right on everything he said, but it was just like, everybody kind of senses through your lens how we all feel about the Browns, so to speak.
That's very nice of him.
Yeah. We have a couple of minutes because you've got some Browns duties coming on, and we have Queen of Hearts tonight, folks. Queen of Hearts coming here at the top of the hour. So we've got a short show tonight, but the Indians kind of wrapped up for business today. Chris Antonetti, team president, and manager Terry Francona spoke to the media. First things first, Kluber's back. They exercised his option. They left the door open for Jason Kipnis, and of course they had we really want Francisco Lindor to be here long term. Having said all those things, it's going to be a very interesting offseason because they've got some holes they've got to fill heading into next year.
I was a little surprised about the Kluber thing, and I guess I understand it, especially in the wake of what happened last offseason, that they allowed everybody to leave.
Yes.
Okay, especially Michael Brantley. So I understand, and they took some flack at the beginning of the year and the offseason leading up to the home opener because of what they cut, like $12.5 million off the payroll, or $15 million or whatever. So maybe that changed their posture about a guy like Kluber. But he's 34 years old. He was hurt the entire year this year because of a freak accident.
Yeah.
I mean, a line drive hitting him in the arm, breaking his arm. He did not come back. But even, he's 34. And at $17.5 million, are they still getting the Kluber that won the Cy Youngs a couple of years ago? Number two is, I don't think Kipnis is going to come back.
I don't either.
Okay. And number three, I mean, the amazing thing about them is that, the Lindor clock is ticking.
Yes.
So I really believe that it's all a timing issue. It's a timing issue of when is the correct time to get the most value, because the numbers are really, they're going to be high, and they're numbers that I don't know that they can reach. I just don't know if they can get there. And I think they're coming out really, and I think Paul Dolan sort of forecast that just before the season when he said enjoy him while he's here. I think that they are forecasting that they can't hit those numbers.
Right.
So that's small, medium market baseball.
Yeah, and if
medium market
somebody
baseball
offers them a king's ransom this offseason, think about when the Indians traded like CC Sabathia or even Bartolo Colon. You get the 3 or 4 best major league ready prospects of an organization. That may still not be enough for Lindor. I mean, you really are going to have, right at this point. Now, if you wait a year, if you say, okay, look, we want to really go all in for another year, and then maybe after 2020 with a year left, maybe that's when we trade him.
Yeah.
You might not get as much for him.
Well, let me give you 2 scenarios. Number one, Didi Gregorius is coming up to a pivotal time in his Yankee career, okay, whether or not they're going to commit to him. Now, you have to know that the Yankees look at a young player like Lindor and say, okay, let's go.
Yes.
Let's go get him.
Yes.
Okay? Let's try and get him. Number two, I know that Lindor likes, and perhaps even more than likes, Terry Francona.
Oh, yeah.
But he adores Alex Cora, the manager of the Boston Red Sox. I mean, he really does. Yeah. He loves him. There's a great connection there. Now, the Red Sox are coming off a horrible, underachieving season, a definite World Series hangover that has led to the president of the team getting fired.
Right.
Dave Dombrowski was released by the Red Sox because he didn't do enough to keep them competitive, and that's just not acceptable back there, okay, in Boston. Yeah. They want playoffs, World Series every year, okay? Yep. I just think that, I think teams are going to come at them and wow them with a deal. So those are just 2 that you have to look at.
And if those 2 teams don't have all of the currency that would be needed in a trade, that's when you might you can always involve a third team and sweeten the pot. I mean, but I do think the value's high, and the Indians know that. That's how Chris Antonetti learned from Mark Shapiro, who learned from John Hart. When the value's high, you got to trade.
Yeah.
So just something to keep in mind as we get into this off season. Okay, Queen of Hearts coming up soon. Jimmy and I are back here tomorrow. We'll really look into the Browns and the 49ers coming up on Monday night. So that'll be tomorrow night. Donovan and Dino is always presented by Master Pizza. For Jimmy, I'm Dino. Thanks for watching right here on 3 News Facebook Live and also on YouTube.
All right.
Thank you, my friend.
Sure. Perfect time.